at me negatively, or if I'm always watching the news, now I have to go give a fuck about the news. Now I'm ready to go do that GoFundMe. This person just came at me. I care so much. So now I got to respond. This, that. So I had to train myself to not give a fuck in order to stay happy. You get what I'm saying? So people don't realize that part too. Like, not caring about a lot will take you further than caring about shit too much in a fucked up way. I know it's fucked up to say, but it's the truth. What's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like is everybody else feels and when everybody else thinking, then you can't regulate your own feelings and thoughts for yourself. So for me, not caring is more so about stoicness. It's about maintaining calmness in all things, maintaining the objective reality. Like, you always thinking, well, things could be worse. Who cares? Right? It's allowing.
I know it's backwards.
It's like constant forgiveness, right? Oh, I made a mistake. I forgive myself. I'm gonna move forward, right? Because when you get caught up and you think that you are what you've done, right, instead of who you are, who you can become, then you can get stuck in the past, right? When you allow the world, opinions is like we're allowing the world to dress you. You understand me? Like, they putting on. They decide what your makeup look like. They decide what clothes you wear. That's what happens when you care about what people. You allow the world to dress you, and they can make you look like a clown. You understand me? Instead, put on whatever you want to and be confident in who you are, because you can't not care without confidence. Confidence is knowing the truth about yourself, right? Like confiding in that truth. I know who I am. Like, I am who I am. I'm like, and then that means that as long as I know who I am and I'm holding on to that truth, how can what you think sway me from feeling different if this is the truth, right? So, like, imagine you play basketball and you've been training every single day, right? But then when you go outside, people making fun of you, talking about you don't never train, you don't take this serious. And imagine you internalizing that, but in your mind, you're like, I train every single day. I don't care what none of them. I'm about to show them my ball. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the truth about me. I know the truth about who I really am. A person can be trying to make you feel bad about yourself for making a mistake, but then you can search your own heart and be like, actually, I'm a good person. Hey, wow, and I ain't do none of this on purpose. I actually feel bad for what I did, and I'm actually gonna change. But somebody else could be trying to hold you to your mistake. But you can be confident and not care because you like, bruh, I'm not evil. Like, I made a mistake and I'm gonna move forward.
You just
explained
that
to me, brother, not care.
You explain me. That's literally the mindset I had to get to where I am. My whole life, I've been, not on some bully shit, but more so like, how people just say slick comments. So I was such a confident person, and to this day, how confident I am now, I've always been that way. I'm talking about $0. I'm the best. I whoop your ass, whatever. You get what I'm saying? That's me. So I've always kind of been the person. I've been so threatening. Even sometimes my parents will be like, you need to goddamn, not threatening, but so confident, but like, they'll be like, like for instance, before I joined the Army, my mother and stepfather told me, because I didn't want to join the Army, they said, do you really think you can go into the civilian world and do better than what we did? Right? So from that moment, I knew that people don't know me. When my parents said that to me, I said, from now on, I don't listen to nobody. People don't know me, I know myself. They told me there's no way you can survive in this world without the Army, right? So,
make sure everybody comment 19.
Yeah, make sure y'all comment 19, right? So from that moment, at 18 years old, I knew that, hey, in this world, I'm alone. In this world, I got to fend for myself. In this world, I can't fall off. In this world, I have to be confident because, if my parents said I can't do it, that means no one in this fucking world believes I can do it, right? But I believed in myself, regardless of what my parents said, right? And I did. That was the first time I ever screamed at my parents and said, you know what, fuck y'all, I'm gonna show y'all, right? So when I got, and I never said this on camera, but when I got wealthy, the first 2 years, I didn't buy my mom shit. The reason why was because I said, no, y'all told me I couldn't do this. There's no way, you just pretty much said I was stupid and I can't figure this shit out and good luck in life pretty much.
Mm.
I bought my mom a Tesla 2 years later because I was like, you know what? I'm over that. I just wanted to show you that, you got to be careful because I'm the black sheep of the family. Believe it or not, by me getting rich, it doesn't benefit because I'm the black sheep. So it's hard to really ask me for money because no one really financially, fuck with me, right? So I say all that to say, if you really, really want to be successful, it doesn't matter who's in your face. You got to believe in you against even your parents, against even your whoever it is. I didn't care who the fuck was in front of me. There's nothing you could tell Aristotle that he is. You could say, Aristotle, you cocky, you need to humble yourself. My simple answer is fuck you. So I came into, you know how somebody say you get rich off pain? I really wanted to prove to my folks that, hey, I can become something. Then I wanted to prove to myself the same shit, right? So that was a big part of my motivation that I never really expressed. I really wanted to prove to my parents that what you said to me before I left the Army is not true. And I will not do 20 years in this Army. I'm going to show y'all that. And I literally became a millionaire before I left the Army because the pain that I felt from that conversation really led me to be like, I got to do this shit. You feel me?
Think about this. Like, think about what he's saying, man. This journey, this is the journey that most people got to take, right? Like, there's a thing called good trauma, right? Good trauma is when you go through something and it motivates you to, over accomplish things. You know what I mean? Because you feel like that's the only way you're gonna be seen, and it forces you to pull out a greatness and a drive inside you, right? And that's one of the things that I'm always trying to do for the world. I don't want to pull out that drive. How do you go from making $30,000 to believing first? Because nothing happens without belief first, right? You don't make $100,000. You don't make another. And here's the thing: like everybody, your level of comfort is your level. Everybody doesn't need to be a millionaire. Everybody doesn't need to be a multimillionaire. You may want another 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 per year for your life in order to you to be financially free. And when I'm talking about financial freedom, we're saying that your rent is paid. You can travel, right? You can eat. You have a little money left for investing, right? You got enough money if things went dark for the next 6 months, you can take care of everything, right? So you're not on the treadmill, and this is the way I look at wealth. If let's say you have 6 months of income, right? And so you got $60,000, and let's say it costs $60,000, right? This is a lot of money. Actually, let's just use 20,000, right? Say you have 20,000 in the bank, and in order for you to take care of your bills for the next, 8 months, you need $20,000, right? So that means to me, you have 8 months of wealth. That's the way I look at it. You have 8 months of wealth, right? If you want to, this is the way I look at time and the relation between time and wealth. So you have to look at how much does your skill set value. So if you learn something like options, you can have one option contract that, let's say, just throw me a number, how much you've made on one option contract. And this is, listen, disclaimer, I'm not saying this is what you're going to make. I just want to know the possibilities because my mind always want to know the top. I don't want to know the lesson.
I'm going to be honest with you, bro. It depends on the stock we're trading. So let's just say it's SPX. That is leveraged more than SPY, SPX, right? And SPY is leveraged. So certain stocks leverage more than other stocks. But typically we like to day trade or scalp.
Right,
so
how much average? I want to know your top though. I mean, we can get to the practical. I just want to know the magic.
One contract though. Yeah. Well, the most I've ever made, I've turned, I think, $17 into 2,000 once. But like not on some earnings play, like the contracts went up like 2,000%. I made 2,000% on the contract. So that's the most I've ever made is turning 17 into 2,000. But on average, you're probably only going to make 50 to $100, sometimes even $20 a contract is good. Because think about it. If I bought, let's just say I bought a contract for $20, point two, right? And that shit goes up $20.
Let me change that. Because, yeah, not one contract, but on one trade, right? Because you giving me a
One trade.
literal contract.
Oh,
But I mean,
NVIDIA. 100,000.
okay, yeah, that's what I was, yeah, I asked it in a way where you gave me the literal, right?
Yeah.
You want one contract.
One
But yeah, on one
trade.
trade, you can trade more than one contract on a trade. So a lot of people don't understand what I was saying. But you know, for one contract, even if you're taking $17 and turning it to $2,000, what percentage, you know, of margin is that winnings?
2,000.
$17
Like a 2,500% thing I did. In fact, I'll try to pull it up now.
So 2,500%. So you got to understand when you got to stop thinking in dollar signs and thinking in percentages when you start talking about stocks and trading and money and options, right?
Right.
Because everything is percentages. Inflation is, they start talking, hey, you losing 6%. See, we don't talk in percentages enough, which is why we don't understand it, right? Like,
Right.
you know, if you take, you know, something that, you know, you got $17. Just think about $17.
See
You
that?
would spend that on a drink, on pizza, on anything.
It was on
But getting a 2,500% return is crazy.
So look, I made a 1,300% on that. So my fault. It was actually 1,300%. So I thought it was 2,000, but yes, I made 1,300% on a contract. So I turned $17 into $222. My fault. So that's one contract left. So that was my biggest ever contract trade. But my biggest ever trade was 100K on the video, and I think I got that pulled up too. I think I showed it a long time ago. And if you comment 19, you guys will be able to get in this chat right here where I call my plays. But I want to find that where I made 100K on the video. Was this it? Yep, right here. There it goes, my biggest trade ever. 600% in the video. And that was 5/30/2023.
All right, so let's scale this down, right? So that's like 100,000. So
yeah,
let's say that's his biggest trade. Now let's scale this down. If you could make an extra $150 per day, right? Like
that's 25,000.
Right. So, you know, I want to help people first. The first thing I want you to do is help you take care of your rent, right? So we look at what's the average rent in America, right? Because when you're able to, you know, not worry about rent, right? Life changes, right? You're no longer surviving. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer worried about food, clothing, and shelter. You know what I'm saying? Life changes for you. So let's look at what the average rent is in America. And then we're going to look at how many trades you need to take, right? And how much you need to win in order for you to become your skill set to pay your rent. So skills for bills. You know what I'm saying? This is where I like to get to.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody comment how much. Somebody talking about 5,000 a month. We ain't everybody made on $5,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to look at mine. So they say the average rent here between 1,300 to 1,900. I'm gonna go with 1,300 right now. So let's say people are paying $1,300 per month. Oh, let me see. Actually, let's go with look. It's expensive as hell these days. Hawaii is like 1,600. California like 1,500. So average around 1,300, from 1,600 to 700, right? So average, I'm gonna say around $1,300, right? So how much is that in a month? If you got to make 30 in 30 days per day. So this is why I like to look at things practical. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make $50. That's just $50 a day to pay rent, right? So if we looking at that, and this is what people don't do, you know what I mean? Have a skill set for every bill. And then once you get past bills, then you in life, right? Which is completely different. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a certain amount of money allocated to education, which is increasing your value. But even if we go to $2K a month, that's $66 per day, right? So that means that you asking yourself, can you make $60 per day, right? Now, when we talking about trading, I want you to give us a plan on how a person can make $66 per day.
Got you. So I love, because I want to show y'all how real traders do it. So he said, give y'all a plan on how you can make $60 per day. All right. So starting amount, shit, you just want a 60? Shit, you
Just
could do that.
$66. That's it.
Huh?
It's 66 because that is from 2K. That's the average rent in America.
All
Right.
they need is about $1,000 in their account. Hell, you probably only need 500, but let's go with 1,000 to be safe. All right. So you need 16% return out of 1,000. So how will we get that? Let's just say we leverage $200, right? And
write this down.
$200. So let's say we got $1,000, right? I'm gonna get y'all some math. We're gonna pull out the calculator. Let me zip my pants. All right, y'all, let's get it. Let's talk about it. So y'all want to average $60 per day.
And so we just doing a thought experiment. We ain't telling you to go trade. Talking about this is risky. Ain't nothing risky. We teaching you how to think.
No. I'm gonna teach them.
Listen to this. Because skill sets are key. You know what I'm saying? Like $60 a day.
Talk about it.
If you got an ebook for $10 and you sell 6 of them, that's $60. Now we talking about a skill set. That's different.
Let me know when you're ready. I got you.
I'm ready.
So you said they need to make $50 per day. So check this out. Everybody follow my finger. So we got $1,000 that we're gonna leverage, right? Now what I need you to do is take 20% of that 1,000. So you're going to do 5 trades, right? So you could really make more than 60, but let's just say you just want to make 60. So all you need is to leverage $200 at a time. So every finger I have equals $200, correct? So I can leverage 200, and then if I take out, so let's just say times 0.2, right? So I'm using 20% of my account. That's $200. So I can leverage $200 5 times. Now let's do times 0.2. That's $40. So all I need is to use a $200 trade and take profits at 20%. And now I made 40. So I do that again, just leveraging $400 twice. That's $80. So all I use is $400, and all I need to do is get a 20% return on the trade. And now I got $80 a day. So if I do that, all I need is 2 trades right for 20%. And look, times 2, that's $80. So that's how we do it. We call it more side, less trades. So I'm using a $200 and I'm taking out just 20% on an option trade.
So, and this is what I want us to think about, because I like to simplify things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to sell somebody some pie in the sky dream. If you don't believe, and because this, if you don't believe that you can make an additional $66 per day, or let's say $100, $3,000, right, in 30 days. If you don't believe you can make $100 per day, you're not alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where we're at with this thing. Mastering the market is mastering reality, because everything that we deal with is in the market. You are factored into the market. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a human being, human capital is factored into bonds, right? So even just by understanding the financial markets, it gives you a different way of looking at reality, right? It gives you a different way of understanding everything around you that happens. There should be nobody that don't walk around with the ability to see the world, at least from a financial literate beginner space, right? We're not saying you about to become the richest person in the world. I'm saying take your rent and create a strategy for it, right? You know what I'm saying? Most people never sit down. People that have rent problems never sit down, write down their rent, write down day to day, and write down a hustle and what it would take for them to do every single day in order for them to pay their rent. I promise you they never do that, which is why they have rent problems. Now, when we're talking about rent, like I said, then you get past rent. Now you got to develop those skill sets and streams to take care of your other bills: food, transportation, entertainment, all lifestyle costs. So I'm saying that, take care of the necessities. And once the necessities are taken care of, right now you can start thinking about, damn, what would I want to do if money wasn't an issue? Your mind thinks completely different. You know what I'm saying? You start to become passionate about life because you start doing things for the labor of love, right? you're not in friction, you are in flow with everything you're doing because it's what you want to do versus what you have to do, right? And this is why it's important to create, surviving is nothing. Thriving has to be in a routine, but most people have surviving in their routine. You know what I mean? People have poverty in their routine. So you got to think about, if you're poor right now, what are you doing to keep yourself poor? Because you have to keep yourself poor. You know that, right? Same way a person got to keep themselves rich. It's all in the habits. So you can say, okay, well, I don't make enough money. I'm not where I want to be. So let me look at my habits and what's keeping me there. Let me look at the way I think about things and how this is going to keep me poor, right? So you can say, hey, let's start with the elephant in the room, courses. Sometimes people get mad at courses. Sometimes people get mad at teachers. Ask yourself, is that a rich mindset or a poor mindset? Right? So you can be like, everything should be free. Is that a wealthy mindset or a poor mindset? Because wealthy people don't mind paying for things of value. That's called investing, right? You gotta look at, when you spend money on entertainment and you don't think about at all. You don't mind going to the club and borrow or tricking off some money and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? You don't mind buying liabilities. Is that a poor habit or is that a rich habit, right? Because one thing is going to keep you losing money. The other one going to keep you gaining and maintaining that money and protecting your assets, right? So is learning a skill set a rich habit or a poor habit? It's a rich one. Is networking with people a rich habit or a poor habit? It's a rich one, right? Is executing on the things you know a poor habit or a rich habit? It's a rich one. Is understanding the stock market a poor habit or a rich habit? It's a rich one. You understand me? Is understanding what options are a poor skill or a rich skill? It's a rich skill. So you want to take the line of all things you do and say, damn, let me look at the way I spend my time, energy, and money. You know what time, energy, and money is? That's your team. That is your team. TEAM, time, energy, and money, right? So if you learn how to manage your team correctly, you learn how to manage your dream correctly. You know what I'm saying? You learn how to control your life. How do I manage my time, energy, and money determines your pathway to success 100%. So becoming financially responsible, learning how to always make more than you spend means you always have more energy than the energy going out. So that means you're living a lifestyle that is rich because I always have way more energy than I'm giving. Even rich people become poor sometimes. When you give away all your energy and at the end of the day you feel exhausted, right? You spiritually and energetically poor, right? You got all this money, but you don't want to do nothing because you don't have no energy. And that's why balancing your money and balancing your energy is the same thing, right? If you eat food that don't give you energy, it took your body more energy to process that food than it was energy that food gave your body. You know what I mean? So now you're tired after you eat the food, even though the food is supposed to energize you, right? So when you go to events, right? Oh, I went to the club. You got a headache afterwards. You know what I mean? You feel less about yourself, even that you done spent all this money and things ain't changed. So now you at this point where you could have went to that conference with that same amount of money, right? But that conference would have energized you. You left with more energy, right? Because that means that the energy that it gave you, whether it's the knowledge in the form of energy, or whether it's the social environment, that gave you more energy. Now you left richer than you were when you came in. So when you look at life like that, it changes the way you live. You become rich in everything that you do because you are enriching yourself. It's all energy transfer. That's what a wealth transfer is.
I definitely feel like there is a certain energy to getting money. I would say the biggest energy is, for one, the first one that we talked about is believing in yourself against all critics. And I like that word you use. What did you say? Good trauma. Um, I heard in a book where they said, if you don't have an enemy, find one. You get what I'm saying? If you want to become successful, meaning, believe it or not, I don't care who's successful. They have a certain thing that they're trying to prove. Whether it's yourself, your enemy could be yourself. You have to find one. That's just the honest truth. Speaking on energy, though, I would say the biggest thing that I had to learn was isolation, because people aren't going to understand you. Most people have a mindset of Monday through Friday work, weekends party. So on the weekends, I like to work. So I know that I have to isolate because I can work 7 days a week. Most people can't. So being around me, I can't have you around me trying to make me chill when I don't want to. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? If I enjoy working, I enjoy working. So I got homies, when I come around them, they just want to talk about who's snitching. So sometimes I have to devalue, and I had to learn that too, to smell the roses and not really put pressure on people to not be themselves around me just because I'm thinking about getting money all the time. So a lot of times I gotta come to the hood and dumb down, like, all right, let's talk about snitches. Fuck it. Who's snitching? Who got killed? That's all they want to talk about where I'm from. Who's snitching and who got killed? And snitching is popular in Atlanta because I'm from
Right.
Atlanta. So
Very
I had
popular.
to learn to
Who
isolate
gonna
myself.
tell?
You said what?
I said, who's going to tell next?
Right, right. So I had to learn, like, I gotta isolate myself. I even had to move. So a lot of people, you won't realize this too. Your people can be hindering you from success. So let's just say you got a spouse. Your spouse only wants to watch Netflix, binge watch Netflix. That's all they want to do, right? So you're going to ping off their energy because they're lazy is going to make you lazy. So what I had to learn was because everyone is kind of lazier than me, I have to step back. I have to put myself away from people because they're not going to understand that, hey, I gotta work. And to this day, a family still don't understand me. They like, nigga, you still working? Yes.
Right, but you know that the
Yeah.
beauty of it, I think the idea of that's another expectation. It's like expecting a poor man to become rich all of a sudden. You know what I mean? And you're mad at him for not doing it. To expect people to understand you is to depreciate your own greatness. It's to
Yeah.
depreciate your own rarity, right? Imagine if, God say, listen, I'm gonna give you a mind that only you have. You know what I'm saying? Now I give you a choice though. You can take a mind of the masses, right? You can take a normal mind. You can take a little standard mind, right? Or you want this one over here. You say, what's that one? Well, this is a mind that I only give to 1% of the planet. This mind I give to 20%. This mind I give to 30%. This mind I give to 50%, so on and so forth. But he said, this mind, right? And he say, you choose. You say, you know what? I want that one. Then he say, okay. You know what comes along with that, right? Now, because you're going to have a mind that's different than everybody else and is rare, you're going to have a perspective that's different. You're going to have thoughts that's different, right? You're going to resonate a higher energy. You're going to look at things completely different than everybody else. He say, do you want that? You're like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, no, wait. Do you know what that comes along with, right? You may feel that people don't understand you, right? You may feel that people don't appreciate you, right? You may constantly have this feeling of being misunderstood. But what you are doing is not realizing that's only because you have a rare and unique mind and people don't come across that, right? So you can't ask for a rare mind and talk about how great you are and then mad at the effects that greatness has on reality. So for me, I took a step back and said, people are supposed to misunderstand me because this is not common, right? For me to do what I do, to think the way I think, to move how I move, I'm an anomaly. And I'm acting like people are not supposed to respond to an anomaly like it's an anomaly. I'm thinking they're supposed to respond to an anomaly the same way that they respond to understanding a nigga on the block. That nigga's mindset is normal, it's standard. Everybody got one of those. So you have to appreciate your uniqueness and your rarity, you understand me, and not have an expectation of commonality. So that's the whole thing. Otherwise, don't ask God for a rare mind. You understand me? If you want to be treated like a common find.
Now you got a point, cause I'm just a transparent, honest guy. Like I struggle. I told you I struggle with, cause I'm still, like I said, I got it so young. So I struggle with, and I just had to come to the realization. I even told so like when I go places, I smile. Like for instance, like nowadays, I be more happy that my folks alive instead of like trying to make them get on their grind. Like when I was 23, my whole goal was to try to get family on the grind. Like, hey, let's get you a job, let's get you some money, let's get you. And then I realized I took a step back and I was like, this shit ain't working. You get what I'm saying? And I wasn't emotionally intelligent enough to, like you said, expect entitlement, expect people to not understand me. I thought it was understood. I'm getting money, I'm out the way. Motherfuckers understand that. So that's why I said I had to isolate myself, because I was like, oh, okay, people don't understand. Now I had to learn to understand that I'm not going to be understood. Like, for instance, today I gave away a lot of money, right? Didn't put it on camera, didn't do any of that, right? When from the outside, I know between me and God that, hey, this is what I do, right? But someone might say, you know what, you just a rich, arrogant asshole. Little do they know, I'm one of the most thoughtful, humblest. I will literally, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. You know that 19 Keys, right? So you're right. You just got to be comfortable with being misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not comfortable with that, then you got to isolate yourself.
Yeah, be comfortable with being rare. You know what I'm saying? There are rare anomalies that happen on this planet Earth that people don't understand all the time, right? They're
Yeah, I feel like I'm an anomaly.
So, you know, like in your family, you want to be misunderstood. You know what I mean? That's a representation of your rarity. When you start developing skill sets and talking about the market, this is not common in this environment, right? Financial intelligence and literacy is not common. So you want to become that anomaly that people are like, I don't understand you. Thank you. Because I'm mad that such a mind like yours that doesn't do any work to develop itself can understand me fully. I'm supposed to be complex. An ant is not supposed to understand a human being, right? Like humans don't walk around mad because animals don't understand. And why? Because we believe that we are a higher form of intelligence. So we can be misunderstood and not have a problem with it, right? But when you become a higher form of intelligence, then people around you, you want to be understood by lower forms of intelligence. Why is that? Right? Because you're still placing yourself as you're the same as them. It's emotional. We like connections. But you have to understand growth comes with separation regardless. You know what I'm saying? Growth, you outgrow things. If you can go through the pain of growth and your knees start hurting. When I was young, my knees used to hurt. But my father told me, oh, that's because you having a growth spurt. And I was like, I learned to look at pain as a growth. I learned to look at stress because my knees were stressing. You understand me? That is preparing me for growth for the next stage. So I stopped looking at pain as a bad thing, and then I started expecting growth to come along with certain things. So now it's a mindset that you got to constantly take a step back, like, oh shoot, I'm in this place of privilege. This is why this is happening. I'm now seen as this person, so this person has to react that way. It's not me, it's their programming. So when you personalize it and you start to think, why is it me? Then it makes you misunderstood your own greatness. This is their reaction to it. So go out there and work to become misunderstood in the sense that, oh, I'm rare now. Oh, I'm eating better. I'm operating better. I'm becoming more financially savvy. The homies who probably go be poor for the rest of their life, they don't understand why I'm making rich decisions. They don't understand why I told them, I know I ain't going to the club. I'm about to study with Aristotle and Keys. They won't understand that. You're supposed to be misunderstood until they develop, and then they can understand it because they got a different point of view.
Let me ask you this, and I guess this could be the last question. What's one thing, if you don't mind sharing, that you're working on improving on? Like, if you would be transparent with the audience, like, what's one thing you like, man, I'm 19, I'm trying to improve on this?
That's a great question.
Looks like you're trying to hide the truth, my brother. Hold on.
No, I'm trying to think of what truth I want to share.
True.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like I'm not a person that shares everything with the world. I share enough with the world, right? Because people that know me is him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say shadow self because that's giving you like a high level idea of it, but I'm trying to think of something more specific. You know, I was thinking about this yesterday. Boredom, right? So I have to learn to look at I had to learn to look at boredom not as I don't want to say this. It's not boredom, right? I'm just not used to peaceful environments. So I'm gonna connect this why this makes sense. And this should make sense for a lot of you all. Right? I was looking at it like, yo, I'm bored. I need to replace this time with something, a social environment. I need to watch something. I need to do something. but that's because I grew up in chaotic environments, right? So, you know, I'm always feeling the need to be stimulated in some capacity, right? And so now I'm learning that no, what I consider to be boredom is actually peace, but I'm not used to peace. I'm used to chaos. I'm used to things going on all of the time. So now I need to learn how to relax more back into me and say, you know what, this is not boredom, this is peace, this is relaxation, this is rest, right? And I'm not used to that. I grew up in a chaotic environment. I heard yelling and screaming, you know what I'm saying? I heard gunshots and murder and all sort of different things from inside the household to outside it. So I'm not used to a quiet, peaceful environment. So I may seek stimulus when I don't need to. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's peace, that's not boredom. I'm supposed to fight for environments like this. This is where my best thoughts come from. So instead of me thinking, you know what, I need to go out and do something. Oh, I need to watch something. I need to no, I have to learn to cope with and change and be more relaxed in those environments of peace and understand that it's okay, because that'll make me seek stimulus that I don't need. You know what I'm saying? It'll take me off my pivot and off my square. And that to me is another level of learning, another level of discipline. You know what I'm saying? And communicating all my needs at all times, right? Like I don't, you know, and that goes into relationships, because if you don't communicate your needs, right, then you will seek escapism, you know what I mean, outside that environment that acts as a stimulus, because you know that certain needs are not being met. So it's communicating not from a mind space, but from a heart space, right? I always say I'm not perfect because I do a lot of flawed things a lot of time. You feel me? But I be growing on them all the time from the street. So, you know, I come from a traumatic environments. You understand me? Like real life. So it's like even when I deal with people, I tell people like you gotta relax when sometimes people approach me all kind of different ways. And my first mind is to react like a street nigga sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, who the fuck are you? And instead of like,
Oh,
okay,
like when that girl sat next to us yesterday in the VIP.
Yeah. You know, it's like I respect my energy, and I protect my energy, and I set those boundaries. So, but that's if y'all really understand what that means, that's really deep. You understand me? Like understanding that boredom is not boredom.
I how you handle things. Like me, bro. Like I got a lot to improve on. I don't even know where the fuck to start. But you know, like I said, like I would say one of the most things is how I respond to disrespect. It's like I halfway ignore and then I'm halfway petty. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
I'm petty. Very, very petty. Like I'm the type of motherfucker, like if I know you hating, like if you come at me, like let's just say like I probably call you broke. Like I'm petty. And I had to learn like I can't keep responding petty, but it don't be because it's just I want to make you mad for invading my space. That's what it really be. It'd be like a revenge, like, oh, so you want to fuck with my privacy and peace. All right, let me show you something. You get what I'm saying?
Right, because
And
whatever they were trying to do worked. Whatever when here's the thing about this is what I look at it, Aristotle.
no, not random
No,
people, but just like
I'm not
if you
talking about
important
random,
enough.
but
Yeah.
just think about this. The reason they say nobody can make you mad, right, is very important, because even if somebody who hates you, like, and this goes to like exes. Think about how much hate that people have for their exes, right? Some people can't talk about them, couldn't say nothing nice about them if a gun was to their head, right? Because people giving so much hate to people. You know what I'm saying? And that person don't feel that hate. You cultivate the hate within you. If you hate somebody, that means you have hate in you. What does hate do? It kills, it destroys. You know what I'm talking about? And so when you hate somebody else, you think that that person feels that. You feel like you're projecting that energy onto them. No, you cultivating it and holding it within. So it's making you sick. You know what I'm saying? And so I learned to understand, you know, first, before reacting, I'm gonna forgive that person. So, and not from the sense that they deserve it, but from the sense that I'm not operating from a place of how they want me to feel. You know what I'm saying? Because if their tactic is, I need to get this person to be angry, to make a mistake. Right now, I actually am angry. Now, number one, and they tactic work. Number two, made me a mistake because I may not operate from a higher place. So I got to take a step back and be like, you know what? I'm angry. I acknowledge I'm angry. I'm supposed to be angry. But I'm not going to operate while I'm angry. Let me take a step back. And the moment that you take a step back and you start to look at it, you're no longer operating from a reactionary place. Now you're being strategic. The moment you say, you know what, wait, let me think about this, you're automatically being strategic in your thought process. So now that person plan, whatever they plan was, right, you already a step ahead of it because now you're not being reactionary. Now you're taking a step back and saying, okay, well, what's the best move for me to make? What's the best outcome for me to get? So now you're treating them like a little boy. You know, you're treating them like a kid that's trying to bother you because you know they want attention. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
you're like, I know that
yeah,
tactic.
like if it's like a random follower, hell nah, it'd be like shit like motherfuckers I know. Like I don't get like let's just say it just be little shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a revengeful person. How about that? Like if it offended me, I'm gonna seek revenge. If it's nothing, like if a random follower like, oh Aristotle, you ugly, I don't give a fuck about that. Like they're Aristotle, you bro, I don't give a fuck about that. But like let's just say one of these entrepreneurs say, all right, broke ass nigga, let me show you something not to play with me. You get what I'm saying? Like, it depends on who it is. That's me. But I had to learn I got to work on that. Like, I got to stop. Because I come from an environment where we seek revenge. Like, Atlanta is a very lit-back city. That's why I don't be a lot of bullshit that happen here because people know you'll get responded to. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I come from an environment where we like you said, anything that happens, you seek revenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get played with at all. And I had to learn you can't bring that same mindset into professionalism and business. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you know, revenge is interesting. You know what I mean? I don't seek revenge. I like to avenge myself. At the same time, you know, I believe in an eye for an eye for sure. You know what I mean? I don't think that's revenge. I think that's balance. You know what I'm saying? Balancing things out
Yeah.
because the strategy is, you know, I don't worry about people that's smaller than me. You know what I'm saying? And then, disrespect to disrespect. So all disrespect needs to be checked and challenged. You understand me? In some capacity, but you don't want to play into somebody else's rule book, right? Because a person could try to disrespect you so that they can try to steal some of your light, right? And now, you know what I'm saying? By responding, you actually played into their hand. So I always take a step back and say, okay, what your play is. You feel me? Now, you can disrespect a person by not responding, saying that you're not even big enough for me to speak to you. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I don't even respect you enough to respond because a lion would never turn around to a puppy barking at him. Would never. He would never turn around because he know that's not a threat. Now, if he hear another lion roar, whoa, wait a minute now. You know what I'm saying? But a little pup, a little dog, I ain't worried about that. That's a little dog.
That's
That's a
pretty
little
what
boy.
I'm saying. If you a lion and you come in my kingdom disrespectful, I'm gonna respond. But like if it's like you said, if it's a pup, hell no, I ain't responding.
Now, you
But like
would
other
never see
lions,
it. You would never see a lion attacking something like that. You would never see it. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? You don't see that happening because now you got the lion come out of his nature and bring him down. And what you're saying is that if he responds to a bark, you're saying that that's a threat. You know what I'm saying? Which is putting y'all on an equal level. And it's like, nah. You feel me? Now, if you play with somebody as a war general, then you know that's up to you in the capacity how you deal with it to make sure that they never play with you again. You know what I mean? Be on the offensive, not on the defensive.
yeah, I got a lot of like I said, I got way too much to learn. By the way, I wanted to show people this too, man. With this NVIDIA. I turned 16,000 into 101K. So
Now,
that's
what
how
date is it?
what?
What's the date on that? May 30th?
Yeah, I still hold these by the way. But I bought it well we can pull it up now. I bought it 9/26/2022 and this is what I'm up and I put in well how you could tell how much I put in, subtract this number from this number. So I put in about 15K. See that market value is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a Robinhood account. But nah, like I would say that's the good thing I learned this year
So you every single day, right? You're very transparent with your journey and what you do, right?
right.
Not only because I'm still learning from you as well, right? So you teach people, show them the trades and the signals as you're taking them so they can take the same ones. But then teach people how to chart it and look at it so you can see the same, so they can see what you saw. And then they can make a decision based on what they think is best, or they can follow along with your trading pattern. You understand me? So therefore, if it works for you, theoretically it should work for them if they get in at the same time and at the same prices, right? So what you're talking about is, one of the easiest, I would say, to go models when it comes to a trading path. Learning it, following along with it, and developing your own plays, because every trader is different. Some people may want to do long term. They may say, I don't have the time to do it daily, so I may want to do it month to month. I may want to do years out contract, because that contract that you just showed wasn't a day trade. That was for 2025. So people, once you start understanding what options are, you're buying time. You're leveraging time. You know what I mean? He giving himself to 2025 to be right. You know what I'm saying? So once you start to understand that game, you can analyze the world, chart things, look at cycles, and you can make a prediction on the world. You understand me? And where you think this company is going to go based on whether it's the,
I'm gonna
technical
be honest
analysis.
with you, bro. I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. Like this right here, I'm gonna be doing this for the rest of my life. I even told my wife this. I said, baby, for the first time ever, like I've been felt like this for the last 5 years, but you know how every year you get better and you feel like you just better than last year, right? So, I got better and better. So now I'm making 60K, 30K, 40K. Like I got so many gains like this. And it
All right, bro.
resulted.
Y'all press 19. Make sure y'all get the beginner course. Y'all get a free access to the Discord. You understand me? Y'all tap into the Honey Drip Network. And I want to see y'all in a month's time, 2 months time, 3 months time, 5 months time, right? And I want to hear those testimonials, because it's all in the results. You feel me? If you only get a testimonial if you get tested. So take yourself through the process, learn something new. That's what it's all about. You feel me? Like that, I want to see people and be like, you listen, this was 2023, June 20th, right? The day after Juneteenth, right? That's when you really became financially free. I need y'all to come back months later, whether it's next year, and you be like, listen, from that moment on, I took that opportunity within myself. I learned something new, and you changed my life. That's the testimonial I want to hear. So whoever joins in today, make sure you screenshot this date, right? Make sure you come back to June 20th and you say, Keys, you was right. But that's only going to happen if you put in the work, because nothing works if you don't work. That's the way it works.
Link in my bio if y'all can't comment 19, and you guys will make gains like my people do all the time.
Yeah.
So you guys take it easy, and we'll see y'all next time.
Man, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.